Hello, everyone. We are live. Welcome to tonight's edition of Billiard Spotlight with this guy, Jason Bowman.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Billiard Spotlight. Like Steve said, I'm your host, Jason Bowman. I'm joined by Mr. Steve Alejandro. Give Steve a nice introduction to the man behind the controls here tonight. And tonight, we got another big name for you guys, another big name for the billiard world joining us.
That's you, Sky?
Oh. And most of you know him as Mr. MVP for his back-to-back MVP performances in the Mosconi Cup. Some of you simply know him as Sky, but most recently, he's taken on a new nickname, and that's the nickname of Daddy.
Hi, Daddy.
Of course, I'm talking about Mr. Sky Woodward. Sky, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are y'all?
We're doing good. We appreciate you joining us. I'm glad you were able to take the time out. I know you're a busy man as a father these days. Got to keep you busy.
Yeah, for sure. Living the life with the little one. It's great. It's great. Nothing like the feeling when he comes out and you first hold him.
So you probably had the most exciting, most positive, certainly experience during the shutdown of anybody I know. How does it feel to be a father for the first time? Like emotions.
I mean, it didn't even sink in. Like when he was born, it was like, I think like a woman the mom gets more attached during the pregnancy because they're carrying him, but then, I mean, I'm not carrying him nothing. I just know. But like when he's born, I have like it actually brought tears to my eyes twice. Oh, yeah. I was just like, this is amazing. And then when I held him, it was just like even more amazing. And then finally getting to bring him home, it was just like it just kept building. Like it was just better and better. But I'm gonna get him back here in a minute.
Oh yeah, you're gonna bring him on the show tonight. His first media appearance he's gonna do.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's coming.
Nice. We can't wait to meet him. So his name, Daxton Sky Woodward. How about that, folks? That's a solid name, brother. Good job on the naming.
Should I show a photo of Daxton? Because I have a photo ready to go, but
I see a picture.
We also have real life Daxton coming on in just a second. So should we wait or should we just show the photo? What do you guys want to do?
We can show the photo. Let's see, because it's 2.5 weeks ago, right? Baby's changed a lot over 2.5 weeks.
I have the photo up. Let me show you what I'm showing the audience here, so you guys can talk about it.
Hey, Sky.
That's what's on the screen.
Oh, there we go, Sky. Sky, they're showing you in the hospital with Dax and little baby Dax with a little baby hat on, all wrapped in a blanket, looking so cute. So what was first of all, we're gonna see Dax. How's mom doing? How's Ashley doing?
Oh, she's great. She's still recovering a little bit. I mean, but she's great. She's feeling better and better every day. She ain't getting much sleep.
No doubt.
She naps during the day. So, but other than that, no. The mom's doing great. Ashley's great, and the baby's great.
Yeah. So what was? I mean, you guys. This was 2.5 weeks ago. So we're talking, what, like April 10th-ish? What was the birthday?
April 14th.
April 14th. So we're right in the middle of this whole COVID thing, right? I mean, like, how was that for you guys? I mean, I'm assuming she had the baby in the hospital. Like, were you guys like rushing to the hospital, or how did all this go down?
It was like, so April 13th, we thought she had already went into labor, so we went in, and they ended up saying she was only dilated at 1, and said just go back home. No need in keeping you here this long. So we came back, and then the next day or the next night, I don't know, like 3 a.m. the next night, she woke up and her water broke. So
go time.
They woke me up and they're like, "Hey, we gotta go." So I threw some clothes on, and we grabbed the bags and jumped in the car and rushed to the hospital. And then it wasn't very long; it was like 6 hours after that. And then about the 6th hour, when they said start pushing, it was done in like 20 minutes.
Oh wow! You just made every woman on the planet crazy jealous. Holy smokes! Good for her, man. That's great.
You got him with you there? Oh, look
at hey!
First time ever, folks. Look at this. Daxton Sky Woodward already making the media rounds at 2.5 weeks old. He's a celebrity. Look at that.
Super cute.
Oh, look at that cute baby.
No, it's okay.
So how's he eating, Sky? Is he a champion eater already?
Oh yeah, he's a cow. He eats and eats and eats.
Yeah.
That's good. That's real good. That means he's sleeping.
Like me when I was younger.
Yeah, and how's he sleeping? How's he sleeping?
He's actually sleeping good. He wants mama.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, at least we got a chance to see him.
That doesn't change as you get older, so.
Yeah. No, he sleeps good most of the time. I mean, he's had a couple nights where he didn't sleep good or nothing. He's like fighting his sleep. Oh, he's content now. So.
Oh, there we go. He's a cameraman. He loves the camera.
Yeah.
He's a natural. You'll be showing this when he's 18. He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I was all about it." 2.5 weeks. And so what was it like? I mean, you guys got to go to the hospital in the midst of all this coronavirus, COVID-19. I mean, that had to be kind of a scary deal for you guys, right?
Oh yeah, it was. Here. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks. Appreciate you guys bringing him on.
Yeah, that's cool, dude.
Yeah. She woke him up probably to bring.
Oh
him
no!
back.
Oh
Yes,
no!
She just said yes. She woke him up, so he wasn't happy anyway.
Oh.
Real quick, I want to interject from chat. Linda Ammons says, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. She said, "Strange listening to 3 grown men talking about a new baby." You know.
Hey, we could change the show to 3 Men and a Baby, right? You guys remember 3 Men and a Baby? That's us. 3 Men and a Baby.
There we go.
Hey, all I know is I'm a father of 3. Jason's a father of 2. We get it. We've been there. We've done that. Best thing we ever did was become a dad. So, dad, we can be, mushy too.
Dads know what's up.
Yeah. Hashtag the dad life.
But I do want to hear. So, having to go to. I mean, we hear all these stories right now. Nobody wants to go to a hospital, unless they absolutely have to. Obviously, you had to. So, what was that like? I mean, were you able to be in the room? Were you guys? What was the thought process with everything going on in the world, having to go to a hospital?
Oh yeah, it was kind of scary to go to the hospital because it seems like all the nursing homes, all the hospitals, that's where everybody's at. And I'm like, I don't really want to go, but I mean, we have to. But they would only let every time you left. If you come back, you had to fill out a sheet. You had to answer questions. They check your temperature, and then. They would only let one person in the room at all times. So
oh, wow.
It was me, and if I left, if somebody else came in that 24 hours, then I couldn't come back for 24 hours.
Wow.
So I never left. I was there for 4 days, 3 days, something like that.
That's crazy times we're living in. Crazy times. So speaking of living in, you're not in Paducah anymore. You're down in Texas now, right? You guys are set up in Texas for a while?
Yeah, in Lubbock, Texas. Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to be here for a couple years and then go back home and buy a house and stuff.
Okay. So I know Mama Woodward's probably tuning in tonight. I know she doesn't miss anything you do. How hard it has to be hard on her because I'm assuming she hasn't seen little Dax yet, had a chance to hold him yet. It's got to be killing her, right?
Oh yeah, it is. It is. I've been FaceTiming her every day or every other day, a couple times a day if I can. And but she's coming down. She'll be down. She's leaving Saturday. She'll be down here Sunday.
Oh, good.
Early on Sunday. She's gonna stay all week, so she'll probably have them all week. She'll hold them all week. We won't have them, I'm sure. That's okay. We'll want her to.
And that's good. And that's her first grandbaby, right?
Yeah, first.
Oh wow! So I just can't imagine. It's gonna be so tough for her to not have seen him yet. But only a couple more days, Mama Woodward. If you never met Sky's mom at one of the tournaments,
she's pretty cool.
Super nice lady, and she's the ultimate Sky Woodward fan. So
she's pretty cool.
Next time you see her at a tournament, make sure you say hello. I know she gets a kick out of your fans too, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, she does for sure.
I've always been impressed with her we saw her in London at the Mosconi Cup over there, and man, they're kind of mean over there. And she took she was like a champ. Of course, you were winning MVP, so gave her a lot of bragging rights. Yeah, so pretty cool stuff. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about Mosconi Cup because love the baby. So happy that you and Ashley got your baby Dax there. But I think folks probably want to hear you talk a little bit about last couple Mosconi Cups that you've brought home the MVP award on. So just tell me a little bit about 2019, man. How did obviously you guys came out of Las Vegas with the title. Just curious, how you felt about the team overall, the team chemistry. Obviously, Justin, a new member of the team. What'd you think of the makeup of this year's Team USA?
I thought it was Team USA. It was great. We had good chemistry. And you mentioned Justin being on the team. I mean, personally, I always want Justin on the team because I'm close to Justin.
Right, you get your friends.
Yeah, and I just feel like he's like a perfect player for Mosconi too. But I mean, yeah, Team USA. I think we looked great. You know, here and there we had our weak points, of course, but you're going to. But yeah, I mean, I think we had the team we had to have to win, really, which I think we're all going to have to, just personally, we are all going to have to make some changes or, you know, maybe change the team again. You never know. I mean, I don't know but why not take the same team anyways? We're doing good. So
I thought you guys looked like, at least to me, you know, as a spectator, as a fan, I thought you guys looked like ultra confident this year. Not that you hadn't been confident before, but I mean, it looked like you guys were just at another level in terms of you almost expected to win. Was that accurate? I mean, did you guys really build off 2018 into 19 knowing that, hey, we can win this thing. We've beaten these guys before. I mean, what was the overall attitude of the team?
I mean, yeah, it's a little more confidence because we finally won one after, I mean, losing
a little bit
years in a row and getting beat pretty bad for a few years in a row. So finally winning one was a big confidence booster, changes our minds. So coming into 2019, we all knew like, hey, we can win.
Right.
And I mean, we just all felt confident. We all knew we was playing good. Just talked about going out there and keeping it simple and playing our game. Really, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I know for you personally, I mean, you had a great 2018. It seemed like you even took it up another level in 2019, and it was, you know, you almost looked unstoppable there. Was your confidence at an all-time high coming out of that or into that tournament in December?
Into 2019?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just overall coming into 2019 and then capping it off as we got into late November, you know, and winning your second MVP title.
Yeah, well, I got a good story about coming to the 2019 Mosconi Cup. So we have the CSI event for us against Team CSI.
Yeah.
Well, the day before the CSI event, I've been playing a lot. I'm playing great. Well, my ferrule cracks on my cue.
Oh, no.
The day before the CSI event, I'm like, oh, no. I played that one doubles match, I think, in the CSI event. And then I didn't play again until I was going to play the very last singles match. And the coach did that, I think, because my ferrule was trying to save my cue. I said, man, I'm going to play with it until it busts because my other one plays a little different. I said, and I'm playing good with this one. So I wasn't practicing. I wasn't doing nothing.
Just trying to save the
finally, it just kept splitting. I'm like, oh, no. So I called Bob, and I said, Bob, I need a couple shafts real quick, overnight it to me. I said, because I'm about to play Mosconi Cup in a couple of days. And he's like, okay, I'll get them out to you. Because what's funny is I never take my shafts out. I took my shafts out before I went to Vegas. I've got 2 carbon shafts in my bag, and I've been playing with the Pro shaft. And they were a little more different because I was playing on switching. And so I didn't put my wood shafts back in. So then I don't have them. So then he sends them out there. And the day before Mosconi, I'm like, man, it's just messing with me. It's going to bust when I'm out there. I just know it. So I'm in the practice room, and I just broke the balls with my playing cue twice, just real hard, 2 or 3 times. And it split like way down the ferrule. I'm like, perfect. Now there's a reason for me to switch. I ain't got to worry about this shaft. So I played with a brand new shaft.
Wow.
I couldn't put like a lot of English on the ball because if I did, it was like a little different than mine. So I would miss. So I played with a brand new shaft to hold Mosconi 2019. So I wasn't 100% confident. I'm not gonna lie, but I played good. I just tried to keep it simple and stay as close to center as possible with that new shaft. But yeah, so that's my funny story.
That's a great story.
That is a great story. That's a great story and a great way to plug your cue sponsor. You said Bob. You're talking about Bob Mucci, right? Mucci Cues.
Yeah.
That's what Skylar plays with is a Mucci Cue. I think we got Skylar's other sponsors we can throw up there real quick, Steve.
We do. It's on my video player. I'm not playing video yet, but maybe I can give a little preview of what we're gonna do.
We'll make sure we get Skylar's sponsors in there.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about who we got. We got Chem Station. What's Chem Station, by the way? That's one of your sponsors. What do they do?
It's my buddy's business. Close friend of mine back home. It's his business. It's a chemical business. They mix chemicals, sell like soaps, and they make all kinds of cleaners. All kinds of stuff that you make with chemicals, like hardcore chemicals, and sell them to like the big businesses. Like they sell them to like Tyson Chicken, and I think and all kinds like big businesses. But yeah, he helps me out. Just pays my entry fees. He's real good to me. So
that's cool.
All right. Well, shout out to Chem Station for keeping it real and supporting Skylar. And then we got who? We got Outsville. Is it Outsville?
Outsville, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about them.
Chris Renfro with Outsville. I play with their tips, the Techno Dud, and man, it was just like it was kind of funny how we even hooked up. It was like I said, hey, or he was telling me about the tip. I said, yeah, let me try one. So I tried it, and I'm like, man, I love this tip. He said, yeah, well, we can do something. We'll work something out. So we worked out a little sponsorship, and I kept playing with it. And he was just like, man, I don't want to sponsor you because who you are. I want to sponsor you because you like the tip and stuff. I don't want you to play with it if you don't like it. So
right.
So, but I love the tip. I think it's honestly like the best tip I ever played with, and the price is very reasonable. I mean, you can't beat it.
And what's that tip called? What kind of tip you playing with?
Techno Dud.
Techno Dud by Outsville.
Yeah.
So you could go to the Outsville website, I guess, and buy one of those Techno Dud tips. Tell them Sky Woodward sent you.
Yeah, tell them.
Support the people that are supporting your favorite players, guys.
No doubt.
And then Railbirds. What are they about? I don't know much about them either.
Railbirds, they're a streaming business.
We've actually talked to Railbirds before, I believe.
More power to them then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stream they stream part of the Derby, they do tables on the when you walk in the main room, the 4 tables on the right, they do those tables and post them to YouTube and stuff after they're
nice.
But yeah, big production, big video or streaming business.
All right, cool. So make sure you guys support the people that are supporting Skylar for sure. So let's get back to the Mosconi Cup. I love the story about the cue, by the way.
That's
a
good
great story to know.
Yeah.
So you won in 2018, right? I was there. I was in London. Great celebration. Super awesome to do it on their turf. But in 2019, you got to do it in front of the home crowd on your home turf. How was that? I mean, how much joy and excitement was there for you being able to finally do that back in the States?
I mean, it's just like not winning for so long, and then winning over there was for the first time to win again was I mean the perfect scenario to win there in front of the biggest crowd they've had so far, and then to come back and repeat on home soil was amazing because
you brought it home.
We had all of our crowd there and everything. So I mean, but winning at home was. After winning there, winning at home was even sweeter. But just winning the Mosconi Cup period is undescribable. It's amazing.
I thought Team USA fans. I mean, we talked about how Team USA seemed to have a new level of confidence this year, but I thought Team USA fans almost came with a much higher. Louder than I had ever heard, and more. It was always every time I had been previously. The European fans really drowned out the Americans, but this year, it was all USA all the time, and that was great to see. You guys have come a long, long way in a very short amount of time. So,
yeah, I mean, like the fans. I mean, like I knew, like after we won in Europe, that more fans, more Americans are going to show up when we get back to the U.S. because we're not dead anymore. I mean, we're back. I mean, we can win.
Right.
So they're all cheering, and they're not so down in their seat because we're losing when we're actually like winning. So they're so now they got something to really cheer for. So they were they were eating it up, but I mean, really, we couldn't have done it without them. I mean, they cheered for us. I mean,
crowd's important
than anything. Yeah.
Crowd is important. It can win games.
I'm curious.
they were the sixth man.
Exactly.
I mean, we have to have them.
How hard was the so one of the things I was thinking before you guys played this year is how, in London, you guys were really kind of secluded or quarantined. Of course, we're using that term. You guys were kind of quarantined in on your own, away from fans and media and everything else. You guys just kind of hunkered down. In this past year, you guys are in the casino like everybody else. The time change, you're playing during the day, so nights are open. How hard was it to, in the past, I don't know. I don't know if you guys be out and about. Were you guys still out and about? How did you guys handle the difference in kind of where you were staying and the time difference and all that?
I mean, it was the time difference is always a little bit harder to deal with. That's why we got to go there a little bit earlier, like a week earlier, instead of going to Vegas like 3 days early or something. We got to go a week to get used to the time. But being secluded and being away from everybody, it was just like the coach just wanted us to keep our minds only in Mosconi Cup.
Focus.
No fans, no family. He wanted us to do everything together as a team. So we had our minds only in one thing, and not like, oh, I'm gonna go to dinner with my family. I'm gonna go to dinner with my buddies over here and stuff. So yeah, just to keep our minds in one place and not have our minds everywhere else.
I mean, it makes sense.
Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it makes sense, and you can't argue with the result.
I thought Johan and Jeremy did a great job, really bringing you guys together the last couple of years and getting you guys focused. Curious what you think about the change in terms of the leadership on the team. I mean, obviously, Johan brought you guys a long way in a short amount of time, but I know Jeremy played a big role in that too. So, how did you feel when you got the news that Johan wouldn't be back and Jeremy would be taking a step up?
I mean, I've always said Jeremy deserved a chance, and I thought Jeremy should get it. But, I mean, Johan, look what he did for us. I mean, he helped us out a ton. I mean, we can do it as players, but sometimes you need a little guidance, you need a little help to point you in the right direction. And he helped us, just get our mind in the right place for our event. But, I mean, I don't think anybody deserves it more than Jeremy, really, to get the captain spot. So, but I think
he's a great pick. I just, I also know Johan was a great coach, and I mean, you had him. You were able to be with him for 3 years. I mean, how much did your game evolve over the 3 years you were able to work with Johan? I mean, your game seems like it's come a drastically long way.
Yeah, it was a lot, really. I mean, the main thing, when he trains, he does a lot with drills and stuff, and I mean, he knows I don't like drills. I've always hated drills. I just never done them. But he would the things he had us doing, it made me realize what to do in certain situations. Just about my stroke is really the key that really helped me progress more, I feel but made me know when I needed to pull out this stroke for the shot, because I have a short stroke. So when he helped me out with the drills, what drills to do, I had to do them, it made me realize what shots I could really use this stroke. So it opened my eyes. So when I need it, I actually have it. So it's just like another weapon in the bag or something,
He's a big proponent of the elongated, he all the way back, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm always short.
Yeah, he wants to go all,
Yeah, and then but talking about Jeremy and Johan too. Jeremy, listening to Jeremy and Johan, Jeremy actually teaches a lot of the same thing. But
cool.
Everybody has different styles to teach it, Jeremy. So I mean, pretty much. Just as great as a coach,
Sure. Yeah, we love Johan, but we love Jeremy too. He's a great dude. I imagine he will have a very calming influence on you guys. He seems like a very steady, level-headed, calm guy in the time that I've spent with him, and I'm sure that carries over into his his approach to that cup. So it'll be exciting to see how you guys do it with him at the helm. I'm sure you guys will continue to do great. So one of the reasons I was so looking forward to tonight, Sky, is I got 3 of my favorite Mosconi Cup Sky Woodward clips loaded up, and I want to take a look, and I want you to kind of relive for me and the audience as you watch these clips, like what the experience was like to live it and kind of what was going through your mind at the time. So the first one we're going to look at, we're going to go back to 2018, day 4 of the Mosconi Cup. I believe you guys went into the day up 9-6 maybe, and you had to play Albin Ocean, who, you know, between you and him, I mean, it was going to be one of you two guys that went home with the MVP because he had an outstanding tournament as well. He was their strongest player, and you guys played what I would say was one of the most just amazing, technically, you know, efficient matches I'd ever seen. And I'm just curious, as you watch this, kind of the feelings and emotions that you get going from this match. If you could just talk a little bit about it.
This is your intro here, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, I was ready.
How does that feel walking into that Alexandra Palace? So I mean, because you're seeing USA fans, but 90% of them are European fans, and they're like booing you, and they're brutal. How is that?
Man, it's like I mean, it's really like crazy. I mean, they just get booed and booed and booed, you know. But
right?
It's, I know it's because they're rooting for Europe. It's no big deal. I don't mind. It actually probably takes a little bit of pressure off of us. I mean, in my head, I mean, it feels like it just takes a little bit of pressure off because they're all against me. So I don't care what they say.
Right.
Now, if the USA fans start booming, then I'm probably
then you got issues. So I'm gonna fast forward it. We're obviously not gonna sit and watch this entire match. I am actually gonna fast forward us to about 43 minutes in.
Yeah, because this match, I mean, Sky, this match basically comes down to the last rack, right? The ninth rack. You guys basically won. You know, you go 4-4, and he just he basically, it's the break makes the difference here, right?
Right. That was it. He broke.
Turn this up just a little bit.
And I mean, when you look at this, like at the time, were you just like instantly like, okay, I got a life?
Yeah, I'm like, I got a chance. I mean, and even Shane come down before this game and said, get ready. He's like, get ready. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm like,
just need a shot.
I'm ready. I just want a shot. And then he broke like this. And I'll never forget, I didn't want to give a pushback.
Yeah, that comes up here in just a sec.
I'll tell you. I mean, I'll tell you about it in a second when we get there. Well,
he's thinking about it right now.
Yeah, it takes him a second to think about it.
And at this point, like, what are you on the same page as him in terms of strategy? Like, what he does here, is that the same thing you would have done?
You know, I really don't know. I didn't really think about where he was going to go because it wasn't my shot. I'm just thinking, like, man, just let me see it. I'm gonna make the ball. Or I'm gonna get safe. I was just ready to play that day. I didn't really care what he left me there. I was gonna do something.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me how this match basically turns on the most smallest detail. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that close. To me, this really exemplified
pro pool,
the level of pro pool and how little room for error there is. Like, you know, because I mean, well, what do you think of what he does there? That's not a bad push out, is it?
Yeah, so he pushes. I can't see the ball. So, I mean, the shot is to do what he did. He kicks. He's got the one ball. The one ball, he's got like 4 balls down here by the spot. He can kick the one up behind. And then the cue ball is going to come over behind these other 2 balls on the right side. But I'm thinking, man, just one time. The one's pretty far off the rail. Don't hit it perfect, and then I'll be fine. Just let me have one shot. I mean, that's all I was thinking, because I didn't want to give it back because it's kind of a simple kick. All you got to do is hit the one full or hit it a little bit on the right side, and the cue ball comes back over this way just like that.
Whew.
but it hit the point. And honestly, I've watched this so many times. I think if it wouldn't hit the point, I would have had a cut. I think the one would have been on the end rail. But as soon as that jump, I got a jump shot. I said it out.
This
loud,
is a pretty shot.
But I think the crowd was so loud that you couldn't hear me. I don't even know if I had a mic on, but I said, I'm going to drill this jump shot. I looked up at the team. I mean, I know they didn't say nothing. I mean, they couldn't tell what I said, but I said it. I said, I'm going to drill this jump shot.
So, I mean, you're saying your confidence level in this shot's like 98% or 100%, that high?
It was that day, for sure.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. This is a thing of beauty right here, folks.
Perfect.
Boom. And then from there it's on. And like, at this point, do you know that, like, this thing is yours to lose?
Yeah, and I think, honestly, this shot right here is harder than the jump shot, the 2-4 combo. I think this was a trickier shot.
This is a pretty shot, too.
Because I got to make sure that I don't hit it too full and the cue ball stays over here and the 2 goes to the end rail. I've got to hit it the right speed and everything to make sure I have a shot on the 2. And then from here, now it's all the work's done. All I got to do is get out, and that's what I told myself. Just take my time.
One ball at a time.
Stay in line and get out.
I'm curious how hard it is to kind of, because you said take your time, but you're also on a shot clock. So how do you pace yourself with that shot clock to go fast enough but not too fast?
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I'm a fast player anyway, so 30 seconds, I'm like, man, just all I need is like 20. That's plenty of time to do whatever. But no, so 30 seconds goes by quick when you're under pressure, for sure.
Yeah. So spoiler alert, you finish this rack.
Yeah, your mind don't work the same to under pressure. It's a little slower. So, I mean, like, under this pressure, I just was like, I know that I just got to make the ball. And this is the only shot I really mess up on. I don't get far enough over.
And so what's your heart rate like out there? I mean, is your heart just thumping? Not yet.
Okay. I'll tell you when my heart thumped on this rack. It really
because I got to tell you, I was sitting in the stands and my heart was thumping. And I just kept thinking, I don't know how these guys do it. In fact, I said that to Carl Boyce. He was back in the media room. I'm like, man, I don't know how you dudes do this and nobody has a heart attack. It's that intense. Like,
I'll tell you, I was so calm on this track.
It's amazing.
The whole time until after I'll tell you, after I make this 8-ball and get back across, that's when my heart started pumping. When I started, I did this, like I could just feel it. You can see it in my face too. I just had a stone face. I just was.
Yeah. There you go. A little celebration.
Oh, I didn't hit I just pointed. It was the point. I forgot. I get them all mixed up.
And there it is.
Hype.
So that puts you guys one game away or one match away from, the victory, the first victory in almost a decade. So how are you feeling there? Are you at that point? Are you like, this is ours? It's over?
I had the best feeling ever because we need one. We've got Billy, Tyler, and then Corey and Shane all to play.
Right.
I've still got Shane for sure with the chance to win, and then either Shane or me to play the captain's pick if we got to it. So one of us was going to have another chance. So we still had plenty of good chance to win. We just had to win one more match.
Right.
And it went further than we wanted because we kind of started sweating when it got 10-9, But it is what it is. We got through it.
We were sweating too, brother.
We were sweating. I ended up leaving my seat in the arena for a while and went back to the media room where you guys had your practice tables.
Take it.
And I was back there when Billy came back because Billy came back not real happy after his match, and then you guys were, I guess, warming up. So I guess at that point you knew that if Shane didn't win, you were going to play that tiebreaker, right? You were getting ready for the tiebreaker.
The coach told me when Shane played, he said, go back there and practice. He said, because you might play the tiebreaker, depending what Shane did, how Shane looked. And I said, honestly, I want to play the tiebreaker if it gets to it, but you got to put Shane out there. Shane's been in those spots way more than me. I'm like, you got to put Shane out there. I said, but coach, you're the coach. If you want me to play, I'll play.
Sure.
I'm ready to play. But I just told him, like, I mean, from my perspective, I think you would have to put Shane because, I mean, it's Shane Van Bonen. So, but, I mean, I was ready to play no matter what. I was back there warming up, and the coach even come back there like twice. Billy stayed back there with me racking the balls, and we would stop for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and the coach would walk in. He's like, "You better get to practicing." I said, "Man, coach, I can't practice." I said, "I'm too into this match to practice. I got to watch this."
Yeah, and at what point, because, I mean, so the practice room was what, maybe 50 yards from the arena. And so at what point, because if you go back, folks, and you watch the celebration after Shane makes that winning combo in 2018, you'll see Tyler Steyer get to the table, you'll see Corey get to the table, and then you'll see Billy and Skyler running in from outside the room. How long, like at what point did you guys bust out of there? Was it after he made the shot or just before?
I mean, as soon as the 9-ball fell, we sprinted out of the room, and actually Billy got over the rail. When I jumped the rails, the security guard grabbed me. Like it hurt my back. Like grabbed my arm as I'm jumping in the air. It grabbed my arm.
I guess they didn't know who you were.
I'm like this. My back was killing me for like 2 days after that. Because I got the wrong twist when they grabbed me. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm a player. Let go.
That's classic.
Was it the 8-foot tall dude?
No. I think it was one of the smaller ones. That was.
Well, they're all smaller compared to that guy.
But I do get it. Like in Europe, the fans are pretty rabid, and I mean the security guys do have to basically push people back as that thing wraps up. So it's quite the scene and pretty cool. If you can ever get over to the Mosconi Cup at their place, put it on your billiard bucket list because that's one to see over there. It's pretty cool. So Steve, we got the next match. We don't need to see it all. I mainly want to see basically about the last 30 seconds of it, and it's the Jason Shaw Sky Woodward match from day 3 of the 2018 Mosconi Cup. And Sky, I don't know, man. Like when you have to play Jason Shaw in Alexandra Palace, the fans there freaking love him, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they just go on and on. It's crazy.
So
right here. I was in between that 3-ball. I wanted to just follow it, but I wanted to put right. I didn't want to scratch in either pocket, so I played it to go at the 4-ball. And I'm thinking, man, I'm not gonna go right at the 4-ball. And I went right at the 4-ball. I'm like, what's the odds of me hitting this one little spot? I can go on either side of it, and I went right at the 4-ball, and that's why I got tied up on it.
I remember that shot. I'm not going to show that shot. I was going to protect you.
Yeah, don't show it.
I wasn't going to let anybody know.
No, but I am curious. I am curious though because they're like towards the tail end of that match, you missed a shot, and I almost felt like maybe the crowd got to you a little bit. Like they were being really tough at that point because like things weren't going so well, and it seemed like they were kind of loud even after they're not supposed to be loud. Did any of that crowd noise affect you late in that match?
No, actually, that match.
Let's play it from here.
Was the least pressure I've probably had under the pressure because, I mean, he pumped up the crowd so much it just got like.
Ooh,
nobody yelled for me. Nobody yelled for me really because there wasn't near as many Americans. So
yeah, there was only about 50 of us there. So
yeah, we're all in like a little section.
There's 2,000 fans and there's about 50 Americans.
So, I mean, there was like really, I mean, absolutely no pressure on this match for some reason. And it was just, I mean, no nerves, no nothing. It was, I mean, I think because he just pumped them up so much, I'm just like, well, what's going to happen? If I lose, we're just going to go crazy like they've been doing the whole match anyways. I mean.
Do you feel like he wore himself out a little bit by getting them so riled up? Because I mean he was really he was full on, and I love watching Jason Shaw. I got to say that
he's a good showman.
I remember the first year I saw him at the Mosconi Cup, and you guys didn't fare so well in that tournament, and I was like, man, I hate this guy, but he was awesome. Like I was like, he is pretty good. So when you're playing him, I mean, the crowd brings a whole nother level with him.
Yeah, he does. But no, I don't think he gets too into the crowd. I mean, he does get into the crowd a lot, but. No, I mean that's just his personality. He loves the crowd. He loves all that. So, well, I thought you wasn't going to show this, man.
Well, you started talking about it.
Well, I didn't want you to show it. What are you doing?
Well, you'd already described it. But I will say it builds the context for the cool moment that happens later.
Yeah. So this is the mistake you're talking about. You put it
Right.
too close.
Well, I had it in the right spot, and then he started talking about it, so I went and found it.
You could see Shaw start to kind of grab his cues. He knows he's going to be back at the table. So what are you thinking at this point? Like,
no extension. I'm really in a goofy spot. I can't reach to thin the ball and get it the cue ball anywhere. So it was just kind of like I tried to play my speed to just stay behind those balls, and I didn't want the 4-ball right by the pocket like that. I'm like, oh no, I left him a jump. He's only got like just enough of the 4-ball that he can make it or still make it. He's only got like enough ball if he jumps over.
So like, what are you thinking here? Like, what are you thinking his chances of making this shot are?
I mean, I'm thinking I'm done. I'm just hoping I get another shot.
So you're hoping and praying.
He just hit the 8-ball. Like, you can see how thin he hit it. He hits it hard.
Ooh,
and the 8-ball still barely really moved. It didn't move hardly. So, I mean, you can see how thin he hit the 8. So
now what are you feeling here? Now how are you feeling?
I'm feeling like it's over.
I love it.
It's the same. All I got to do is make the balls. Now, this was the hardest shot right here for me, was the 4-ball with ball in hand. I had to play the right speed.
Oh, his poor reaction.
And, I wanted to get right on the 6, and I hit it perfect speed. I got just where I wanted on the 6.
And this just becomes a thing of beauty here. Just running balls now.
But this 7 was a little tricky because I'm short, and I actually had to stretch out over the 9-ball, and it's all ball foul. So if my shirt touches the 9, it's a foul. So it actually kind of caused me let up on my stroke, and I'm on the wrong side of the 8-ball here. So now I've got to come across table and come back.
This is about to be the highlight of the Moscow, with the exception of the final shot,
which was cool.
And the celebration. What you do after you pocket this 8-ball, I was like, okay, here we go. Here it is. Oh yeah, ear to the crowd. So the Alexandra Palace, which had been at just an enormous pitch, suddenly just totally silent, and all you hear are the 50 USA fans. And Sky raises his hand to the crowd. Look at it. I loved it. I just thought, man, I really thought you became a different player right then. I felt like, wow.
When I did that, and they all, I was thinking like, man, y'all been screaming the whole time. Now it's dead silent up in here.
Yeah.
What's going on? So then I threw my hands up, and they booed me, or they booed me when I did this. So then I'm like, what? I mean, y'all, what's wrong? So, but that was great. But they even showed Jason's face. He smiled.
He did. He enjoyed it.
He loved it. He's like, man, he's giving it back. I mean, that's what we would all do in that spot. I think,
oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Mosconi Cup.
And you shook his hand afterwards, and he shook your hand afterwards. It was all good. It's just intense.
Yeah, and what you got to understand about the Mosconi Cup is this thing is built for entertainment, like not just the pool players, but a massive global audience, and that's what's so great about it is, you get people that aren't even pool fans that tune in to watch it, and again, that match isn't as great as it was probably without Jason Shaw and how the crowd responds to him. So I thought that was a great match. And then we got one more we got to show him, Steve.
We do.
While we got him here.
Let me find my note. So I'm going to take you to the part of this match. This is Skyler versus Joshua Filler, which I'm sure.
So this is Team USA on the hill, Thanksgiving Day. And we could just show about the last, after Filler misses that shot.
So yeah, at about 40-20, yeah, this is the big deal.
So after you see this happen, what's your reaction?
I told myself, I said, so I got to draw back. And I said, don't draw short or hit it too thin and draw because I can scratch in the side. If I hit it too fat, I'm going to hit the 8-ball. So it's not like a huge window, especially under the pressure, not a huge window, but I'm just missed the 8-ball. And I got a perfect shot on the 5-9. So I draw back. But
look at his smile. You're so happy right now.
I mean, at this point, you kind of know, like, you've got this, and the party's going to be on, right? You just got to execute here?
Yeah, I just got to execute.
Now you know it.
As soon as I noticed it missed
now you know it. And I love this. Yeah. I love this. Watch this. Bam! High fives. Now, we know Jeff Howell. You know Jeff Howell, the guy you high five there. He's one of our league operators. You walk right over to him and high five him before you bury the winning shot. I just thought that was classic too.
He came to the rail, but I didn't care.
Bam!
Everybody would have came up. I would have high-fived the whole room within the next 30 seconds. He still made that 5-9 real quick. But no, I told the coach the whole month, or after about on the third day, after Josh played like 4 singles matches and just drilled everybody, I said, Coach, I said, put me in the spot on the 4th day to play Josh. I want to play Josh. I'm telling you.
Now hold on, before he finishes this off, like how does that add to the pressure when you've high-fived the fans, you've high-fived your teammates? Like, are you like, man, I better not miss this thing?
No, I couldn't miss it. The 9 was laying right in the hole.
So you know it's 100%, and the party is on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I told the coach I wanted to play Josh, and he told me when he made the lineup, he said, I put you in the spot. I think they're going to put Josh. He said, I got confidence in you. I said,
and he was outstanding for Team Europe this year. Well. So that's a huge win there.
And hey, I'll tell you another. It's a little bit of a funny story too. I go in the practice room. He said, sleep in because you play late, and then so just get your rest, do what you do at a normal tournament, and then come get ready. So I walk in the practice room, and they're all there. I said, man, boys, I woke up in dead stroke, dead punch. They're like, good. We need you. I said, well, when I start warming up for my match, I played terrible. I couldn't make a ball. I'm like, oh no. But I mean, I've never been a practice player. I could practice terrible, but as soon as we start, I mean, I'm ready to go. But I've always been like that. But yeah, I was practicing. I'm like, oh man, I'm playing like crap back here.
I want to know too. So this thing wrapped up on Thanksgiving night. How good was the turkey dinner that night? Was best Thanksgiving dinner ever?
Oh yeah, it was the best. It was amazing. Shoot, we was all on cloud 9 to win again, you know.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
So I want to know, you've seen 3 huge clips from your career. I know it's only the last couple of years, but your career in the last couple of years has really skyrocketed. I'm curious, out of those 3 clips, what was your best match? Like you felt like overall, not necessarily the significance of it, but you playing your absolute best. Which one?
Albin.
That was a good match.
I figured as much, but is that the best match you've ever played in terms of technically kind of thing?
In like Mosconi Cup, yeah, in like that kind of spot, yeah, playing
nice.
Albin, and then out of them 3, it was probably Albin, then Josh, and then when I played Jason, it was probably Albin. But hey, you talk about me high-fiving that guy. He had the flag too afterwards.
Yeah, you took the flag. Do we know where that flag's at? Does anybody still have that? That flag's probably worth a bunch of money now that you did all that.
I think I gave it back.
Well, I bet he's probably got it framed then.
If you give it to Jeff Howell, he's got it framed and it's ready to go.
Y'all have to ask him.
We'll find out where that flag is. That thing probably be a high dollar piece. That was classic moment.
Yeah, I bet he's got a good memory of Mosconi Cup this year after that.
Oh, I bet he does.
Sure, I bet he does. That was a great moment. So, I mean, that's awesome, man, and thank you for kind of going back and watching those with us. I'm curious, what's the are you in touch with the guys right now, the team? Like, you staying in communication? I know we got this whole COVID-19, like everybody's on lockdown. Are you still talking to the guys? What's going on there?
Yeah, we have a little chat between the team from last year, and we all talk about just talk. I mean, just stay in touch. But I mean, that's about it. If we have the same team, we'll keep the same chat. But like the last few years, we've made a group chat so we all know what's going on. So, if there's a new player or something, we'll put him in or make a new chat. I mean, and he'll be in. Who knows? But we all have a group chat to keep up with each other.
I know nothing's guaranteed in terms of Mosconi Cup, but I mean, you've won the last MVP at the last 2. It'd be hard to leave you off the roster. How confident are you that and I know some things have changed because like all these tournaments that have been canceled, like some of the the qualifying structure for the team is being kind of shaken up a little bit just because the events aren't happening. How confident are you that we're going to see you on the Mosconi Cup, Team USA this year?
I mean, everybody says that, oh, you're back-to-back MVP the last 2 years, you got to be a lock. I'm like, man, I mean, ain't nothing a lock. I mean, it's Mosconi Cup. What if there's so many more people playing great at that time? I mean, they might say, oh, we got to pick so-and-so. I mean, I feel confident that I'm going to be on a team, but who knows? You know, I mean, I'm not guaranteed, but I mean, I hope I'm on the team. I want a chance to three-peat as a team and really just win the Mosconi Cup. I mean,
sure.
That's all. I just want to win again. I mean, I would like to go on a run and be on the team as long as possible until we lose again. I mean, if we lose again,
there you go.
There you go. I like that.
I like it.
Go on a run like them, win like 8 or 9 in a row.
Yeah,
and be on it every year. I mean, that would be sweet.
What do you think what do you think the crowd's going to be like when you guys head over to London this year? I mean, they're going to be angry and pumped and want to just rattle you guys. I mean, they may be louder than you've ever heard them. You think?
Yeah, what was it in London last time? It was 2,500 or 3,000?
Something like that. A couple thousand people.
Yeah, it's going to be 500 more than that this
year.
Yeah, so it's going to be even worse. I mean, man, it was so loud. Like, you're just like your insides are vibrating.
It's
like,
intense.
Man, what the heck is going on? And it's worse over there because they got more people, and the arena's all the way around in a circle.
Yeah.
So all the sound is all coming down to you, and it's so hot. And I mean, it's just like.
And you love every minute of it.
How do you handle that pressure though? Like, how do you maintain your composure and kind of stay calm, because it's got to be overwhelming. All these senses just like rushing in. I'm sure there's a smell. I'm sure there's a sound. I'm sure there's all the emotions or the senses just going crazy. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, there's no other pressure like it or anything. I've always liked the pressure, but that pressure there is like, I mean, you can't compare it to nothing. It's like, I mean, if you have the least bit of dog in you, you're probably gonna dog it all. I mean, honestly, I mean, it's like, it's really like unbelievable, the pressure. Like, I mean, I was the first time I went to the U.S. Open, I played my first match ever on the TV table against Alex Pagulon. And I actually won that match, but I just felt no pressure. My very first match ever on the TV table, or at the U.S. Open on the TV table, was my first match. And I felt no pressure. And look how big of a tournament that is. And then Mosconi Cup, man, it's just like, it's crazy. It's unbelievable.
How is it to go from like the craziness of the Mosconi Cup and the atmosphere? Like, how is it when you go play in your next tournament and it's like a lot more subdued? Are you like, I mean, is it hard to make that adjustment from like the, just the emotions to the kind of more calm, like a normal pool tournament? Yeah. The soft claps.
Yeah. Not really. I mean, not really.
Just playing your game, huh?
You gotta win before you can celebrate, you know. So mainly just focus on winning, and then if I win like a bigger tournament, like I won the Derby last year.
Yeah, you really came out of the Mosconi Cup in 2018 and went right into January and had a great run at the Derby City.
And I celebrated there. Just like big tournaments like that, I'll celebrate some, but like a little, like, no, I'm not gonna say a little tournament, but like other tournaments, like I don't really cheer or nothing. Just shake the guy's hand and hey, thank you, and that's it. You know, just calm.
It's like a business meeting coming to an end, huh?
Yeah, right.
Thanks for doing business with
Thanks
you.
for your
I like
time,
that.
sir.
So I wanted to ask you about one of your teammates in particular. I know you and Billy Thorpe are kind of, you guys are really close. You guys are like running buddies now. And so you guys got a little contest going on.
Oh, Lord,
I've been seeing, I know did you get a haircut today?
Huh?
Did you get a haircut today? Did you get clipped up a little bit today, cleaned up?
Last night I got a haircut.
So but you only got it on the sides. Like, what, you guys got a little contest. Tell us about what you guys got going on.
So it's kind of fun. It's not really like a contest. It's just like, it was kind of like, we're sitting there. It's like, hey man, you grow a mullet, I'll grow a mullet. He's like, no, if you do it, I'll do it. No, I'm like, Billy, for real, man. If you do it, I'll do it. He's like, all right, I'll do it. So now we're both growing a mullet, and then
so Billy Thorpe and Skylar Woodward are having a mullet growing competition amongst themselves. How long has the competition been going?
Shoot, when did it start? Maybe back in January or something.
Okay, you're only 3 or 4 months in. It takes time to grow a mullet, I would imagine. A good one.
Maybe February, beginning of February. I don't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, and it was like I'm gonna grow my beard out. I said, I'm gonna grow mine out too. It's gonna go with the mullet. So we're both growing our beards out. He actually messed his up the other day, so he had to trim it. But he said he was so mad. So but now he's behind on the beard, but he's growing it back.
Okay, so you guys are both going like Grizzly Adams status. You're growing it out in the back. You're growing it long in the front. And how long does this go on?
Oh yeah. Sorry. No, it was just kind of like let's grow it through go to Mosconi with the mullet, like if we make the team. So that's kind of how. So it's going through December at least. If I don't make the team this year, I'll grow it all the way till next year.
I got to talk to Emily Frazier and ask her what she thinks of Billy Thorpe, bad boy Billy Thorpe, and her MVP Sky Woodward growing
giant mullets,
all the facial hair. I'm gonna have to have her on the show and ask her what she thinks of all that because but that'll be interesting to see who comes out. You look like. So do we have a picture, Steve?
We do.
You got a picture of how the mullets are coming along. Let you guys compare Billy's mullet with Sky's mullet.
I have it up on the screen, but you guys can't see it, but they can see it.
So listen to this. So we're out in Vegas, and me and Billy's already grown it. I mean, we're two hillbillies. We don't really care. We grow mullets. I mean, who cares? I don't care what anybody says or anything. So we're just we're just growing it. But Shane's like, I'll bet y'all 50 you don't grow it till Mosconi or all this. I'm like, what? I said, bet. I said, of course I'm going to grow it till Mosconi. I was doing it before you even made the bet.
It just thanks for the free money.
Yeah.
He bet me and Billy. So me and Billy are going to get a free 50 out of Shane.
That's a good story. I mean, I'm looking at these pictures. I guess you can see you guys are both getting thick in the back. Billy looks like he just came from like the barber shop, though.
Right?
You sent me that picture. I'm like, Billy looks like he just got all cleaned up. Like the beard's all trimmed up. And
yeah, that's right after he messed up his beard. But yeah, he said, I haven't been able to get a haircut. He said, my barber, everybody's closed. And he said, I've been busy. And so that's why his sides are long, too. But you can tell his back is a little longer than the side still in that picture.
All right. Well, we'll have to keep our eye on the mullets, folks. I mean, just know that this thing's going to go on and on for a while. And I guess having the whole COVID thing going on makes it a lot easier because nobody can get a haircut right now. So you guys can throw it all out.
Yeah, right. Hey, everybody out there, go ahead and grow your mullet out. Might as well join us.
I will say I'm pretty impressed by the beard you put together. Hey Steve, do we got a picture of Sky from a couple years ago? I want to show Sky circa 2016. You got that photo
on screen?
2020 mullets are back in.
Now look at how far Sky has come. This is only 4 years ago, less than 4 years ago, right? Looks like he's about 17 here, and now look at him. He's all grizzled out. He's a daddy now. Look how far he's come, man. That's pretty. You and Justin, you guys both look like kids there, but you look a lot different 4 years later, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've talked Mosconi Cup. We talked about Baby Dax. What we haven't done yet is something, Sky, we've been doing with all of our guests on the Billiard Spotlight, and we like to call it a game called Quarantine Trivia. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, kind of off-the-wall questions, nothing too extreme. And I just want to get your honest answers. We did this with Jeremy a couple weeks ago. We did it with Jeanette Lee. So I want to see what Sky Woodward's quarantine answers are. So we got these questions. You ready to do this, Sky?
He's on it. All right.
Steve, you got the questions?
All right. Question 1, Sky. If you could only eat one thing during quarantine, what would it be and why? Feel free to answer in the chat as well, guys. Mine is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, if that helps you at all.
They have to be good. They can't be bad ones, like restaurant ones. I mean, they got to be like either Dallas at Fuel City or my buddy here in Lubbock, Street Tacos.
Preach it.
Okay.
They got to be the good ones with cilantro and onion.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, my buddy here makes some of the best tacos. I'm like, dude, when we having tacos again? We just had them last night. Hey, when we having tacos again?
Now, are we talking steak tacos, chicken tacos? What kind of tacos are we talking about?
Yeah, the steak one, the carne asada.
Carne asada is what Sky's picking for quarantine. I thought that'd be your answer because you're pretty. You're a big social media guy, and you're always putting your taco pictures out there. So yeah. I've seen those pictures. So that would have been my guess, and you affirmed it. So Tacos for Sky Woodward during quarantine. What's our next question, Steve?
So you need to meet Matt Miley, and you guys need to do a taco podcast, I think.
Yeah, he's a taco freak, too.
The second question is, if you could only watch one TV show, what would it be and why? And chat, feel free to answer. It's a tough one.
Just during quarantine?
Yeah, like if you could only if the TV every time you turned it on had to have the same thing on, every time you turned it on for however long we're in this quarantine, what would you be watching?
I would just watch probably like Ridiculousness or something because it'd be funny. I could laugh.
Okay.
A lot.
I watch that show.
Lighthearted. I thought you might say like I thought you might say I'd watch like the 2019 Mosconi Cup over and over and over.
Yeah.
No, you want some other entertainment, huh?
Well, I would say like a couple shows that are on Netflix, but I would run out of shows.
Out of options.
So,
Sure.
So Ridiculousness, they're always showing different ones.
Good. That's a good way to look at it. You need fresh content. I get that. That's a good answer. I like that.
It's well thought
through.
All right,
what's the next question for Sky, Steve?
All right, question 3. When you go to the grocery store during quarantine, what is the first thing you grab? Or attempt to grab, depending on what it is.
During quarantine?
During quarantine.
Yeah, no. As things are flying off the shelves, if there's, you want to make sure you get it when you go in the store. What's the first thing you're going to look for?
Diapers, me. No.
That's the right answer,
right.
I think.
No, for real. I mean, probably like for like an essential or something. I'd probably have to get like Germex or something because I gotta stay clean for the baby.
All right,
sure.
so you're
All
going.
right.
Yeah, that's
practical.
Smart. Look
practical.
He sounds like a dad. He's only 2.5 weeks into fatherhood.
He's already an old
sounds
pro.
Like a full-on dad, man. You're gonna do great, brother. You already got the right answers figured out. He's keeping it clean and sanitary.
Did y'all want me to say like a food or something, or did you just say?
No, you say whatever you want.
I just want to know what you would grab. Some people grab toilet paper. I myself probably grab the kind of coffee I like to drink. Steve might grab Cinnamon Toast Crunch. There's no right or wrong answers here in quarantine trivia. You're grabbing some sanitation items. That makes perfect sense with a baby.
Yep, sounds like.
How many questions? How many more we got, Steve? One more.
One more.
Okay, this is the big one because your Team USA mates might be watching, and you're gonna. This is gonna be a tricky one, Sky.
Hope they are watching because I'm gonna give a bad answer.
It'll be a good answer for one of them, probably.
Y'all gotta tell me if they're watching so I can give them a bad answer.
Understood. The question is, if you had to quarantine, if you were stuck with one member of your team, who would it be and why?
Oh man, it would have to be Billy T.
Billy Phillips.
We're like brothers. We always, we get along great. We're like the best of friends. We're like brothers, and we're always laughing with each other. I mean, no matter what, we're laughing about something.
That's good,
always.
man.
Oh, that's a good answer.
And we can keep an eye on each other's mullet.
There you go.
Tyler's
I was going to say, like, what kind of trouble might the two of you guys get in if you're, like, under the same roof for, like, too long? If you guys already came up with this mullet contest, I can only imagine what you come up with after several days together, like, hey, let's see who can, like, jump off the roof on a bicycle or something.
That sounds like me and Billy, really.
That sounds like a good time.
Really to a T, like, no. Who knows how much trouble we could get in.
I think that's a reality show. Move over, Tiger King.
Yeah. Sky and Billy's house. That would be an interest. I'd watch it. I bet the audience would watch it.
Shoot,
I'd love to see what you guys do.
Carol Baskins fed her husband to the Tigers. She ain't got nothing on me and Billy.
Real quick, there's a certain Tyler Steyer in the chat who had this to say about your answer. He says, "Don't pick me." LOL.
Oh, Tyler wouldn't make it. It would be another Carol Baskins story.
All right, we'll give him about 30 seconds to hear that and respond. This ought to be interesting.
Speaking of Tyler Steyer, I'm curious. So, like, as this whole quarantine thing started going down, he heads out and starts playing a streaming match that, like, everybody's watching.
Oh, yeah, he went to the basement.
The only live pool match on. Did you have a chance to watch him play Chris Robinson at all? And what'd you think of him there, if you did?
I mean, I watched, like, a couple games. I really didn't watch any of it.
You were kind of busy at the time, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't really. Yeah, I didn't really watch it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know Tyler won. I
Yeah.
like every once in a while I'd get in or I'd see it on. I'd just see what the score was or something, just see who's winning. I mean, that's really all. I don't really watch pool or anything, anyways. But
interesting. So when you're off the table, you're kind of checking out of a pool, huh?
yeah, I've always been like that too. As a growing up, I didn't really watch pool, and when I got older, I enjoyed more just going and sitting at like a little bar. I mean, I would just sit there and watch uh, like the low, like the weak players. I'm like, hey, I really enjoy watching that more than the top players. It's crazy. I feel like I learn more. The top players, I'm like, oh, I run out like that.
You should commentate one of our matches, man.
More like this, because you're like, man, what was going through his head there? And then you're like, oh, could have done this off of that, like the way they hit it. So I've always learned more off of like the lower players, which is, I mean, just that's my style, like how I've always learned.
Hey, Steve, make a note. We'll have to bring Tyler on the show so he can respond to Skyler's comments. I want to hear what he's got to say in the near future.
He's probably going to say if he's locked in quarantine, he's going to pick me.
Oh, really? I will say this, Jeremy Jones picked you. Jeremy was a big fan and said if he had to quarantine with somebody from Team USA, he was going with Sky Woodward, and he basically said, hey, he's got a new baby so I could play with the baby. And I'm thinking, man, have you been around a new baby lately? I know Jeremy's got, I think, 4 kids. But I'm thinking it must be a few years since you've been around a newborn, because man, they're tough to handle.
Yeah, but he's in grandpa mode, which is different than dad mode. So
he's using me for my baby.
Nice. So there you have it, folks. Sky Woodward's quarantine trivia answers. Steve, we got any questions from the chat? I want to give the chat a few minutes if they got any questions for Skyler before we let him get back to taking care of baby Dax and relieving Ashley of. For a few minutes. What, we got anything coming in?
First off, Tyler Steyer said no chance. Literally just now. I don't know exactly he's saying there's no chance, but that's his response.
That's he's probably talking about being quarantined with me because he would get fed to the Tigers.
We're gonna follow up with Tyler on that one. There's got to be a story there.
Tyler's a great young player too. If you've not seen Tyler Steyer play, man. And speaking of him, man, I go back to 2018. Not to get too far off topic, but I think his win in that first day in 2018 was a momentum changer in that entire event. What do you think of? I mean, I felt like I didn't know much about Tyler before that, but I was like, wow, that kid's got nerves of steel to go in there and do what he did. Was that a big change in momentum for you guys in that 2018 win?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it was kind of like he was the rookie. He was playing Niels. I mean,
I'll never forget the jump shot. He executed that jump shot like it was nothing. It was like, whoa, this kid's ready to play.
He just beat Niels in the international. I think it was the U.S. international.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, like Mosconi Cup, you never know how anybody's going to handle the pressure. So, I wasn't the most confident in Tyler there, but he proved us all wrong. I always thought, different. But I had no doubt in Tyler for sure, because he's a great player. I mean, he can beat anybody, especially in a race to 5.
Yeah.
But he came with at the right time, changed the momentum for us. Because if he loses that,
you're down 3-0. Yeah, 3 or 4. I think you guys were down 2-0 at the time.
Yeah, it would have been 3-0. You're right, because we ended up winning that day.
Yeah, you won the next 3 matches. I thought it was one of the 3 biggest matches of the 2018 Mosconi Cup. Him winning that match against Niels, that was impressive, and I thought that was kind of his coming out party. Everybody knew who Tyler Steyer was after that. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see more of him, some more Mosconi highlights with him too. We got any other questions?
We got a few.
Steve?
So a question that I've heard a couple of times from a couple of different people is, you're a young man, you're a young player. What advice would you give to even younger players who may be just starting out in their career, or even just the average player who might, want to get a little bit better? What is the advice you'd give someone if they want to get better at pool? Top 3 things.
Man, really just play as much as you can. Practice hard. Practice like you would play in a tournament. Try to play people better than you. And play bigger tournaments if you can. And really Really, I mean that's about it. Just like play people better than you. Oh, and watch. And if you're really just starting out or something, and your form's not that great or something, whoever your like favorite player is that you like to watch, try to copy their form and everything they do, because they're gonna have good form if they're a top player. So, or good enough form, But yeah, I just say just copy like that. Those things, just copy who you think who you like watching, and try to copy their form, and then just practice as much as you can, as hard as you can, and play people better than you, because you can always learn.
So just a quick follow up to that, Sky. At what point in your young career did you kind of like realize I've got a high level of talent for this, more than just like your average league player? Or I mean, at what point did you recognize I can maybe do something special with the game of pool? Like, how old were you when you kind of started to notice that you were going to be at that level?
I mean, when I was 16, I won a real big tournament in Vegas. And then I won more and more. I actually got a job when I was 18. I worked at the Dollar General till I was 19 and a half. And I was going to college. And I actually quit. I quit the dollar store. And I did I think I did 2 semesters, I think, in college. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. So all I knew was I wanted to play pool. So I told my parents, I'm like, all I want to do is play pool. I said, I'm going to go try to play professional or play tournaments and see how I do. And I did good.
And how did they react to that? How did your parents react to that?
It was kind of like, well, you don't know what you want to do. Yeah, go ahead.
That's
You're young.
good.
Might as well do it,
They supported me. But, yeah, I just did good the first year, so I tried again, and I did better. I just did better every year, and I just got up there to where I'm at now.
So, but as like a teenager, maybe even a young teenager, you're playing like adults, grown-ups. You're playing probably people older and that have been playing pool for years. I mean, is that kind of how it started out, matching up against people that were just much older?
Yeah, when I was young, like 12, 13,
wow.
I would just play like people better than me, and I'd gamble with them cheap or something.
That's crazy.
2 Big Macs and a soda.
Yeah, and stuff, and it was like my dad would like put pressure on me, like playing, because my dad played pool.
Okay, your dad's a pool player.
So my dad would really get me in the action. Like he put me in games like I'm not supposed to win when I was that age. But then like I wanted this cue real bad. It was like $1,600. He said you gotta win tournaments and you can buy it yourself. I said okay. I won like the next 4 tournaments, 5 tournaments in a row at home. And they were tough tournaments, like 40, 50 people were coming in all the time, every week, Friday and Saturday night, every week, big tournaments. And I won like 4 or 5 in a row, so I ended up buying my cue I wanted. So then it was kind of like, because he really liked to put the pressure on me. He made me like have a goal, like something to go for.
Nice, I like that story. It's a good story. What else we got from the chatter, Steve? What are the questions?
More questions. Real quick update from Tyler. He goes, I'm probably picking Justin because we would play $100 sets every day for 3 months.
That's who he's going to quarantine with.
There you go.
I tell you what, Justin's willing to play anybody at any time, it seems like, from what I can gather.
He really is.
So he's a warrior.
Other question is, what jump cue do you use? Pretty easy question there.
All Mucci. Everything Mucci for me.
Mucci.
So if you want to be a pool player like Sky Woodward, go buy yourself a Mucci cue, Mucci jump cue. Does Mucci do a break cue too?
Yeah.
So they got everything you need.
Yep.
All right.
Cue, jump cue, everything.
Nice. Next question is, and this is a pretty good one. I think this is from a person named Ricky. Who's the hardest player for you to beat?
Hardest player.
And why is it Tyler Steyer?
Huh?
I said, and why is it Tyler Steyer?
Why is it Tyler Steyer?
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna say, I thought about this not long ago, and there was another guy I was thinking of, but there's one guy that always stands out to me that seems like he always gets me right at the end. It's one little thing at 7-7 or 8-8, 8-7, race to 9. There's always one little thing that happens for some reason. my way or his way for him to win. But it's always a good match. But Alex Paguion's always been like tough on me. But there was one guy I was thinking the other day that really is it's kind of beat me more than I've beat him. But really, that'd be like the only two that I would say that's really beat me a lot more than I've beat them. I mean, there's a couple people that's beat me like a couple times or something, but not like a bunch of times.
Consistently.
Like they got a record. Like you beat me two out of 2 times or something. That's not. I mean, I'm not gonna say like they're the hardest for me to beat or something.
Right.
But
what else we got, Steve? Before we let Sky get back to Baby Dax.
All right, let's end it on this question here. This is a good question. This is from a gentleman.
All right, but I got one more after this one. Sorry.
Well, you can do whatever you want, Jason.
You're
running the show, brother.
Take this last question, then I got one more after that.
All right, which match was your favorite? Which match was your favorite of your whole career?
Oh,
if you had to pick one, because I know they're all different moments and awesome, but if you had to pick one.
Probably winning the Mosconi Cup.
2019
this year, making the winning bowl. There's nothing like it when you are out there for your whole representing your country, and you make the winning bowl for your team. That's probably the best win of my life. But like you said, so many wins, like beating Albin the year before was such a big win, and then winning the Derby last year was.
Yeah.
I mean, I won the 9-ball and I won the all around, and it was. I mean, that was like, probably the biggest tournament win for me. Like I would say. So I mean,
do you go back?
The Mosconi was the best win.
Do you go back and watch that clip from that match? I mean, do you go back and watch that match at all, or is it kind of in the past and you leave it alone? No, the match against Josh Filler. Do you go back and ever watch it, relive it, kind of thing?
Baby's already hitting the buttons.
No, I got a phone call. I had to end it real quick. Dang it.
You're all good. Live.
Anyways, what was the question?
I don't remember.
From the.
I was just wondering if you go back and watch the match, like your favorite match, or any of your matches.
I've watched it a couple times. Like I've watched the clip from the Derby a couple times because I got out of line on that last game pretty bad, and I had to come with like a really good shot to get on the 6-ball, like the Derby. So I'll watch them every once in a while, but hardly ever. Like I told you, I really don't watch pool. I mean, I've got a whole Derby City. I got my DVDs for my people to watch. People come over want to watch. I mean,
sure,
can watch it or they can borrow my DVD. But but no, I can't. I don't really watch. I just don't really watch pool.
That's fair.
Fair enough. So last question, and then we're gonna let you run. Who's the next guy up? Who's the next Sky Woodward? Who's the next Tyler Steyer? A name that maybe we don't know about, but could be on the cusp of becoming a Mosconi guy. The next Justin Bergman, the next young gun like you guys have been.
Like next, junior player or next?
Just anybody. What's a name that we should look for that could break into the Mosconi Cup in the next couple of years? Young. Just kind of like you guys were coming up. You guys all kind of came up with the next Billy Thorpe, the next Sky Woodward. Who do you think? What's the name?
I mean, I think the next junior, junior is 14, but the next junior is going to be I think great. He's got great fundamentals.
What's the name?
He plays great. Joey Tate.
Joey Tate. Okay.
Joey Tate.
I think he's going to be top class for sure. I mean, but there's a ton of them, but he's one I've played doubles with him in a small tournament. It's just he's beyond his years. But but so many juniors will get there for sure. I mean, I know I can name a bunch of them, but he's one that really sticks out to me the most.
Joey Tate. We'll have to keep our eye on him. He said he's 14-year-old Joey Tate, folks.
Man. He's 14. He might be 15 by now, but he's right there.
We'll have to keep our eye on that name and see if he's not playing in Alexandra Palace at some point in his future. So, Sky, we appreciate you joining us, brother. I know you got a lot of stuff going on with the baby Dax, and awesome that we got a chance to meet him tonight here on the show. So, Please give our best to Ashley. Tell her thank you so much. We know how hard it is that the first few weeks of parenthood with the baby. So I hope you guys stay well and stay safe down there in Texas. And hopefully we see you back on a pool table in the very near future.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. And for folks at home, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Billiard Spotlight.